What's up, YouTube? Welcome to CNReptiles. This is a channel where you're going to be learning how to care for your leopard geckos, crested geckos, or any type of reptiles that you may have. So let's just get started. Caring for a crested gecko is actually not that hard. Crested geckos are considered to be arboreal, which means that they like to hang and glide around in the trees just like a squirrel. So first things first, you're obviously gonna need food. Here is a crested gecko food diet that comes pre-made. All you have to do is add water. You might actually have to figure out a way to feed it to your geckos. I use toothpicks, and I will put a little bit on their lip and watch them lick it off. Second, you're gonna need something called repticalcium right here. And it's for all type of reptiles that are kept in captivity because they cannot get natural sunlight. Natural sunlight provides vitamin D3, which is something that they cannot get if they are in the house all day. And this is probably the most important. This one right here is going to be if you decide to feed crickets to your gecko. You would use this to feed to your crickets to make sure that they are gut loaded. Gut loaded is a term that us reptilians use very frequently, and it is basically making sure that the food that you're feeding your gecko has high nutritional value. Okay, so now it's time to talk about the substrate. I use two different things for substrate, but here's the first one. This time I decided to do a bioactive terrarium. So this right here is bioactive volcanic substrate, and it actually dissolves and consumes the feces, urea, the urine, dead crickets, dead mealworms, and even dead skin that your crested gecko might shed, and it gets activated when you add water to it. So this is what I use as my drainage layer. It's also by ZooMed, and it is called Eco Earth. It is sort of like coconut fiber, except it's not wet and it doesn't need water like most coconut fibers do. So I would use this right here to mix with your volcanic substrate, and that alone will act as a natural soil and environment because it contains nitrifying bacteria. It's useful to turn the poop and stuff into nitrogen. So with this substrate, you usually don't have to do much, and these geckos are arboreal, like I said, so you don't have to worry about impaction. Just make sure that you're either hand feeding your mealworms or you have them in a dish that is hanging up. The fourth thing you'll need is this. You might not need it, but it will come in handy. You can buy a smaller one, but I'm sure you would appreciate this one. You can find it at Walmart for about $8 or even Home Depot. I think I got this one from Home Depot. This is a pressurized dispenser. As you can see, the bottom of the terrarium is kind of really simple, and I left it simple because this gecko, as you can see, does not really stay on the ground. So it looks like we came here just in time. The gecko is active. Just make sure that you put the volcanic rock in first so that the water drains to it. Make sure that you have hides for your gecko. Make sure you have plenty of things for them to climb on. Here we have a coconut. Keep it up in the air for them. We're adding things to the enclosure. I just haven't found things that I would love to see just yet. So back here we have some plants, and those plants will come in handy. That's probably my gecko's favorite spot. You guys gonna need a hydrometer as well as a thermometer, and I'm sorry for the glass, but it's nothing but water staining because you have to routinely spray it. Just keep a dark hide for them. Most geckos and lizards need heating pads. However, this one really doesn't because it stays in the tropical area, in the tropical climate, in the rainforest. So that is why you have to routinely spray down their enclosures to make sure that they feel at home. The optimum temperature for a crested gecko is between 70 and 80 degrees. You do not want to go above it, and you do not want to go below. The hydrometer, it can dry out. You would actually want your gecko terrarium to dry out before you add more water, just to make sure that everything is draining properly. My gecko is actually sitting on my camera as we are filming. They get very comfortable. I'm getting a little too comfortable. This little guy right here, I got probably a month and a week ago. So he hasn't been with me that long, but so far so good. Another thing that I would like everyone to know is that you don't necessarily need a heating lamp with the Crested Gecko. They like cooler temperatures anyways. It's just that if you do have a heat source, make sure the heat source is far enough from the container so that the gecko isn't climbing up where the heat source is and actually burning themselves. But heating pads are fine. Do I have one? No. I have one for my leopard gecko, but I don't have one for this one. A few things about the Crested Gecko is that they're actually active at night. You can see this one is kind of jumpy. They're very, very active at night. So if you want to see them, then you might want to be a night owl. Kind of like this one. I like to get in here and feed at night because that is when they are the most active. And most times I would leave crickets at the bottom of the cage and allow them to hunt all night. If the terrarium is in your room, don't be scared if you hear them just thrashing around, hitting things. Ask me any questions. The next video that will be posted will be actually a video about breeding mealworms so that you do not have to go to the pet store to feed your pet. Stay tuned. If you love the video, please like, comment, and subscribe.